iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to the Bristol Motor Speedway. We are jumping right into the start of this race here. We got John Humphreys on the pole to his outside, Mike Killenbeck in the 70, starting in the third row. We got Rob Lowe in the 21 with Ethan Michaels to his outside. Gene Cato in the 19 machine starts fifth. Sixth is Dakota Wilson. Seventh is Jeff Crosby Sr. Eighth is our points leader, Brad Yuckman in the 93. Ninth is Jason Wiley in the 13th. 10th is David Lomaga. 11th is Wes Frank Norman. 12th goes to Marty Brown. 13th is Keith Fonseca. Joe Nelson will start 14th. 15th is Kevin Duran. Greg Dreiss is in 16th. 17th, Mike Rosenberger. Kevin Droney in 8th. George Rickon in 19th. And rounding out our field tonight, Eli Raposa in the 46 machine. As we get ready to take the green flag here, we'll wait for the lights, and we are racing here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. We will get the scoring, timing, and scoring up on the screen here in a second, but these trucks are underway as the all-black test car 4 of John Humphreys leads the way. Meg Kellingbeck in second, under fire from that 01 machine here. Look at that Marines number 70 machines. He had a great night last week. We'll see if he can get double down on that and see where he ends up. As right now, he's looking to do the same as he is running in the second position on track right now. Reload some stuff here on my end. As these laps will click off very quickly tonight here, folks, with it being 100 laps here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. We're already down to lap number 6. We got Dakota Wilson in that 52 truck. He put on a good showing to his first time here at the Joe Six-Pack Racing League, and he is looking to continue that, as he is running in the 3rd position on track. Just got around Ethan Michaels. We look back a little bit here to our 5th runner here, Rob Lowe, in that 21 truck. Hanging strong, hanging tough, as this field has spread on out for the most part. Got some battles further on in the pack here. We look at the 72 machine of Wes Frank Norman trying to apply the pressure to the 76 of Joe Nelson. As we see them side by side, 76, oh, they almost made contact. Does an awesome job staying off each other, but that will give the position to the 72. Because even though this is Bristol Motor Speedway, it still is a tough track to tame, as we get the intervals up on the top of our screen here. We are all over the place here, excuse me folks. As we go back up to the front of the field, we got John Humphreys in that primered out number 4 machine, leading the field here, with Mike Kallenbeck slowly closing back in on the gap behind him. We'll see if the 70 truck can get around him. I was saying before, folks, Bristol is a short track. We are at the half-mile Superbank Speedway, but here on iRacing, the top side is dominant, so we'll see the trucks try and make a pass to this top side. It's going to be very fun, very interesting to watch here, as these laps continue to click on off at a rapid pace. As we look at the 33 machine, a different paint scheme for Jeff Crosby Sr., going from that Skull machine to the Kellogg's Cornflakes machine, and seems to be doing it pretty well, as he is in the 8th position here, applying the pressure to David Lomaga with the orange machine of Jason Wiley right on his tail. Looks like the 13 machine has a little bit of nose damage maybe from that start. As we look at the 34 DTL Customs machine, he is one of the biggest movers in this race so far, up 3 positions and looking to keep on moving, marching on up, but he has a bit of a gap to that 21 machine of Rob Lowe. As we look back at the battle here, the 33 all over the tailgate of that 34 machine, as the battle starts heating up for 7th position on track. One of the best battles on track for all 3 of these drivers, as they try and see what they have in these trucks. Of course, like always, these trucks have, well, actually tonight they only have 40% fuel. As they get very close, the battle is continuing to heat up, as Wes Frank Norman tries to go to the high side, gets a piece of that wall and loses a whole bunch of spots. As we see here, we got other trucks in on the way for this race. As that all black machine, I think my overlays may be goofing a little bit, so this is Brad Yuckman with those baby blue rims. But of course the truck on my end is not loading, so we'll have to see, good old trade and paints, what's going on there. You see the 61 of Keith Fonseca trying the high side, keeping it rolling, keeping it ripping. As this battle, we'll have to jump out here and look just at this battle here, as they're 3 wide almost here at Bristol. You don't hear that too often, as these trucks all pushing it to the limits with trucks inches away from each other. This has been a great battle out on track here, as Keith Fonseca able to get through the field and now challenging that 34 truck as contact. The 33 machine goes around off the nose of the 72. The rest of the field will have to make evasive maneuvers and gets on around. So a yellow flag here about a quarter of the way through this race. And alrighty, some great racing action as we look back up towards the front of the field here. Will be picked back up by John Humphreys. And with this yellow flag, I will be right back. We'll go to commercial, and I'll be back on the other side.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
As we get back to the racing action here on the track, we are, of course, under our first yellow flag, as we'll see most, if not all, of the field come in, fill up that fuel, because, as I was trying to say before, they only have 40% fuel in these gas tanks here tonight in these trucks for the Pick 'em Up Cup trucks here at the Joe Six Pack Racing League. So they will have to come on in, fill them on up, as we will see them head down pit road here. We'll pick them up on the other side, as this is a one pit lane style race, so that means they will all have to enter there on turn 2, go all the way around pits here, and then get picked up back in turn number 1. Because if you don't pit at the right time, you will get a penalty and have to start at the end of the longest line. So you do not want to do that, because track position will be very key, as it is very hard to pass here at Bristol, especially in these trucks, because it's such a fine line. We saw West Frank Norman get into the wall, and that's a fine line. We got to dance here as John Humphreys wins the race off of pit road, the 70 machine in second, and then the 61 comes out in P number 3. As we look here, it looks like the 64 machine, the Pappy's Iwraps machine, is going to be our leader when we go back green. Elected not to pit there, so he will come out in front of the field. Speaking about Pappy's Iwraps, they are tonight's sponsor of the race, so if you need any sort of iRacing wraps, be sure to check them on out. They do some awesome work here, so got to give a big shout out once again to Pappy's Iwraps. As the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car, that will mean this time by we will be going racing here once again at Bristol for the Pappy's Iwraps 100. As the iRacing pace car makes the hard left-hand turn, we'll wait for the 64 to fire on off. He does just that, and we are back racing here. As we'll look a little bit more to midfield, as these guys with different tires, different strategies, try and make their way through this field. We'll keep a big eye on that number 4 truck as he tries to navigate this traffic and go where a truck is not in front of him. As Brad Yuckman is in a all-black truck here tonight. We got confirmation from his pit crew that they were not able to get a wrap on that machine, as the 4 truck, our pole sitter, gets loose off of there, hits the inside wall, and that will be a fast repair used. So it seems like I got a little bit of announcer's curse. Whoever we're looking at gets into a incident on track here. So we'll have to see how that reshuffles everything back up at the front, with people maybe coming in, maybe trying to stay out now that I see that new tires are a little tricky as they fire on off. It's going through the top 3 here. We got Greg Dreiss with an awesome restart, able to keep that lead in that 64 machine. Marty Brown in that neon yellow 41 machine all the way up into P number 2. And then Mike Killenbeck already back to P number 3 on the track. So he wasted no time getting those fresh tires and already making the most of them as he's back in the podium positions. Looks like we got Kevin Gironi here in that 8 machine running in the 4th position. And then Brad Yuckman able to hang on to the top 5 here, as we only had a quick green flag stint there. I have to see if we can get a longer run here. As a little bit of split strategy down pit road, of course, we see the 4 car of John Humphreys down pit road, but we see the likes of David Lomaga as well as Dakota Wilson also down pit road. So some different strategies out of these guys as these front runners continue to stay out and do not come in for their first set of tires. They do have quite a few tires tonight here at Bristol. They have 3 tire changes, so 3 sets over the wall, 4 including the ones they start on. So tires won't be too much of an issue if you can pit every third of this race, which seems like it might be the case. As all 20 drivers that did start tonight's show are still out there on track. Sorry, 19 cars. I think 1 car did miss the start there. So all 19 cars that did take the green flag there are all still on the lead lap in this race. As we look to the YouTube chat lands, we got Jeff Crosby Jr. cheering on the 33 machine. Yeah, we saw Jeff Crosby Sr. get into a little incident there, was running inside the top 10, so we'll have to see how that Kellogg's Cornflakes machine can bounce on back, because he does have some new rubber on that machine, so that'll help him drive through this field here if it does stay green. As we go back up to the front of this field, the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car. That means next time by, we will be going green flag racing, and these laps continue to click on down at a rapid rate. We are already on lap 38 of 100. So I think the most important thing tonight, folks, will be track position, trying to be up front and stay up front as much as they can. We'll have to see if that's the case, but that's what my gut's telling me here as we are already on lap 38. As the pace car will make the hard left-hand turn down the pit road. Now we'll wait for the 64 to fire on off. He got a great restart before. We'll see if he can do it again as he waits a long time. That gives advantage to the 70 machine of Mike Killenbeck. He will go shoot through the bottom and now look to the outside for the race lead. 64 machine down low, 70 machine up top as they battle for the race lead here. As you can see just what kind of run you can get on that top side. You can really sail it into the corners, get it to pivot at the apex, and really drive it off from that top lane. So we have a new race leader, Mike Killenbeck, in the 70 Marines machine out front. Right in front of him, we got John Humphreys in that 4 car, trying not to go a lap down. We'll have to see if he can outpace the leader here. As we got another yellow flag here on the track, it looks like this may include the 76 machine of Joe Nelson. We'll have to rewind it here and see what happened to bring out this yellow flag. As it looks like, he may have gotten some help from the 7 car of Kevin Durant, and Rob Lowe with nowhere to go. Roger Muth asking about where he's at in this race, and he is involved in this most recent yellow. It looks like right now the 21 machine is in P number 14, so not where he wants to be at this point in this race, but still a lot of racing left, even though it doesn't seem like a lot of laps. we can see how quickly the order gets reshaken on up here, especially with all the different strategies going on at Bristol Motor Speedway. As we look through this field here, we got George Rincon in the 732 good wrench machine. He is another one of the biggest movers in this race. He is currently in the 8th position, but up 11 positions. So he's looking to put together a good run. We'll have to see if he can keep that on up as we approach the second half of this race. I think it would be a good time if we could get the 732 in the booth at the end of one of these races. We'll just have to let time tell to see if we get the chance here. As we go back up to the front of this field, the lights get extinguished once again on the iRacing pace car. That means, of course, next time by, we will be going green flag racing. We'll, of course, re-rack and restack this field and double file them on up. The front row looking like Mike Killenbeck in the 70 down low, 64 machine of Greg Dreiss up top. Second row, Marty Brown in that neon yellow machine in the inside, and then to his outside, Brad Yuckman in the all-black 93 machine. As we'll wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road, then we'll wait for the 72 fire on off as the restart is in his hands. As he waits a long time, waits for that green, and we are back racing. He gets a big jump over the second row, and as you already saw there, folks, early, some wheel spin can be a huge problem here tonight. We saw a little bit of trucks move, but as you stay out there on those tires longer, it will only continue to get worse. As Brad Yuckman falling back a little here on that start, got passed by Ethan Michaels right there in 1 and 2 as that 01 machine of Ethan Michaels, a man on the mission, picking these trucks up and putting them down here on the top side. Now he looks to the inside of the 64 machine, has his nose in there, doesn't quite get a good enough of a run, so I'll have to see if he can recharge and attack, and looks like that he will do, as he's looking for any sort of opening as one car tags the wall. I think that's a 19 machine of Gene Cato, just gets it coming off of turn number 4, as the 01 machine on screen here is to the inside of the 64. Yeah, that's one of the trickiest things about this track, folks, is these walls come up very quickly. These safer barriers, you think you have room, but they stay out on the straightaway just a little bit longer than you think, and you can pound them, especially off of turn number 4 here. These trucks love to head straight to that wall, and if you're not careful, if you're a little too aggressive on the throttle, it will send you there in a hurry. As we look at the battle for 7th position on track, the 732 continue to make his way through this field. The 19 machine up top now under fire from the 61 of Keith Fonseca. Keith is, of course, down low. 19 machine up top trying to defend that position. And it looks like they're pretty evenly matched as they have been side by side for about a lap and a half, as the 19 able to clear and reclaim the 8th position on track. As we now see here, Jason Wiley trying to set up an attack as well on the 64 machine. This is the battle for 5th position. As that top side is so dominant. As the 64 gets on the apron, that's a dangerous game to be playing here at Bristol. That truck can really get loose, get unloaded, and send you around in a hurry if you get too much of that apron. So Greg Dreiss doing an awesome job keeping that truck underneath him there, as that apron's not something to play around with. As Mike Killenbeck has checked out from the field, about a half a second lead over Ethan Michaels. Ethan Michaels all the way up to P number 2 here, as George Rickon gets around Greg Dreiss. That opens up the door for Keith Fonseca as well. So 64 machine dropping a few positions with that strategy to stay on out, or to only take 2 tires. As the battle's heating up behind him, we got 3, maybe 4 trucks, as well as the 33 tries to get in the mix. We'll have to see how this plays on out. As we got Gene Cato trying to go around the top side of Greg Dreiss here. And then the 64 machine of Mike Rosenberger trying to find an opening. Wes Frank Norman goes to the top side. Mike Rosenberger is stuck behind him. Will lose that spot. Now he'll have to jump to the top side before the 33 leaves him out on that low side. He does just that. He jumps to the top side and trying to get around the 64 machine. As we go up to 3rd place, Kevin Gironi up 15 positions. We'll maybe try and jump on board with him here and see what he's doing inside this race car to make it so quick, as we'll see what he is seeing here for the Joe 6-pack on board. As he is running about the middle lane here, you hear him playing with the throttle, playing with the brake, trying to keep the momentum and the speeds up here without killing the tires. As you see here, this track is very banked. You can't see too much in these corners. That's why things happen so fast here at Bristol, because your sight is very limited, especially once you load on up into these high banks here. And you can hear the 8 machine really jump on that throttle once he gets his truck to turn and drive down this banking to get a good run. Everyone keeping the well distance away from the wall, trying to keep these trucks in one piece, and I don't blame them. As we see that 70 truck driving on away from these guys. He's looking like he is putting down some blistering laps. One of the fastest trucks on track right now. As we get a yellow flag here on lap number 69, we will have to go to the replay and see what happened, as there are a lot of trucks here stopped in turns number 1 and 2. We will have to see what happened, as a lot of trucks were involved in that one. As we'll go try and find the cause. It looks like maybe the 19 machine got loose, got in the inside wall, and then, like we were saying, folks, things happen so fast here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. You have no time to react, as we see other trucks coming in here trying to stay out of it if they can. As we will try and see one more time what happened to the 19 machine. Looks like maybe got in some contact from the 14, sent him hard into that inside wall. Then it sends him up top in the scary, in the way of other cars. And Brad Yuckman with a hard hit down the inside line. As we see cars rolling out of pit road, we were in the middle of green flag pit stops as well. So as that is very true. We see Joey Nelson in chat saying, Joe Nelson having a rough night in the race he sponsored. Yeah, he's running the Pappy's Iwraps, paint scheme. We'll have to see if we can get a close-up shot of that 76 machine. And those things sporting some awesome colors, especially here under the lights at Bristol. We'll keep the camera on this sharp-looking 76 machine, as Joe is running in P18. I believe he got caught up under those green flag pit stops. He will get one wave around here, as he is right behind the iRacing pace car, so he'll get waved around with 1 lap to go. As a lot of big names were involved in that caution there. A lot of trucks having to use a fast repair, as there are only 2 fast repairs available in this league, so you have to use them wisely. But if you get a hard hit like we saw from the 19 machine, you have to use it there. Yeah, Jake in iRacing, or the YouTube chats, that is a fast looking paint scheme out here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. As when this shuffles all through, we got Mike Hillenbeck will be the race leader. Ethan Michaels will start to his outside. Rob Lowell in the 21 machine having a great bounce back here all the way back up into P number 3. Restarting in 4th position will be Jason Wiley in the 13. And then rounding out our top 5, we got Keith Fonseca in the 61. As we see the 76 machine jumping on the loud pedal here, he will get at least 1 lap back here, getting waved around the iRacing pace car. As we will get ready for a restart here. The rest of the field double files it up, re-racks them, restacks them. We get ready to go green. So we'll wait for the 70 truck to fire on off and get us green flag racing here. There's a little bit of stack up, a little bit of wheel spin, but we are back racing. The 01 machine of Ethan Michaels gets a fantastic restart. Stays right to the outside of the 70 as the 70 comes up, clears himself. Here comes the 13 with a big run here. So an intense battle here at the front of the field on lap 26, 25 to go as the 13 machine of Jason Wiley gets loose. Spins here on track. That will bring out a yellow. Luckily, no other trucks were involved with that. That could have got very big very quickly here. But luckily, the 13 machine able to keep that thing down low in that spin and keep it most of the way intact, as now he has both some front and rear end damage. As we'll go back and see what happened to the 13 machine as we get him already spinning. The 41 picks up a little bit of damage there, but the rest of the field able to just sneak on by, as we'll see the 13 machine most likely come down pit road and use a fast repair. So we got a great question in the YouTube chat lands right now. We got Jake asking, is this a dynamic racetrack? This sadly is not a dynamic racetrack. iRacing, the only technically short track, if you want to call it that, would be Richmond International Speedway with the dynamic surface. But this is a concrete racetrack, and what that means is it's very sensitive to the heat as these tires wear, as they pound the heat into the track with these big heavy truck, NASCAR style trucks. It heats up a certain groove, so it kind of has some dynamic track to it, but it's very line sensitive, very heat sensitive. So we'll see drivers really playing around with different lines, trying to see where the cool line is on the track. Not so much where the rubber's at, but where the track is nice and cool, as this is a concrete surfaced racetrack here on iRacing and, of course, in real life. As we look at this front of the field pacing around here, we got some trucks looking to have some big impacts late in this race. We will have to see how this unfolds. As yeah, Jeff, this is a very quick race here. 100 laps. It may seem like a lot on paper, but these laps click on by very quickly, as they are doing about, I want to say, 18-second laps, if not even quicker than that. So the laps click off here very quickly. But just like the laps click off very quickly, everything else happens here very quickly, whether an incident in front of you or just you being on top of the wheel, because as we see here tonight, it doesn't take much for these things to step on out or get out of control. That's kind of the fun here at Bristol, you know. You lose the banking very quickly in the straightaway, so if you got a lot of wheel from the corner, it can get a handful on you and send you down to that inside safer barrier. That's why we see a lot of cars kind of, like I say, diamond these corners, kind of head in straight, get the truck to rotate at the apex, and then drive it off straight so they have as little wheel as possible coming off the corner. This way it's easier to drive, but also a little bit friendlier on these tires, as this place really pounds in that right front here. As the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car, that means this time by we will be going green flag racing. We'll have to see what kind of restart the 70 machine gets. Last time he waited to the green lights. I would have to expect we'd have to see him go a little bit earlier this time, prevent the 01 machine to start from his outside, as he waits for the green lights here and gets away at a better start here. Ethan Michaels slots into P number 2, Rob Lowe in third, and then Kevin Gironi stuck on this high side trying to keep the momentum going, as the 732 just clears him as they get to the front stretch here. So it shows you how quickly you can lose some spots. Kevin Gironi went from P number 4 all the way to P number 6 here in one lap. Now the 8 machine will try and turn it back up and see where he can get back up to. Mike Killenbeck starting to check out just a little bit to the 01 machine. That time a lot more even off the corner, as this 01 machine might be under fire here pretty quickly from that 21 truck of Rob Lowe. As we see the 21 truck looking high of the 01 machine. The 01 machine just clears him coming off that corner. Was giving him the space, but knew he was clear, able to slide up in front of him. That's what you got to do here at Bristol. Got to not only be able to hit your marks, but also defend a little bit, because if you give a truck advantage, especially that top side, it will most likely mean you are losing that spot. As this is what our leader, Mike Hillingbeck, wants to see behind him. He wants to see these trucks battle in here, and that will allow him to run away a little bit more and more. As we see the 61 machine of Keith Fonseca now to the inside of the 21 here as they go into turn number 3. You see here he tried to get to the bottom, had the run, and then just being stuck on the bottom for those 2 corners. You see how much gap, how much speed, how much momentum that 61 car lost. Now he's already 3 truck lengths back, as he now needs to regain all that ground. As we get 2 open palms that time by. 10 laps to go here at Bristol. This race is rapidly wrapping on up here. As we see a battle shaping on up for the 6th position. Wes Frank Norman trying to mount the charge on the 8. The 732 just in front of them as well. So this is heating on up, as well as a battle for the 10th position here. We got Marty Brown with Jason Wiley looking to the inside. There's trucks 2 by 2 all over this pack here at Bristol. As we are 3 wide here at Bristol down the backstretch. You don't hear that too often, but I've said it once before tonight and say it again. So some impressive driving by these drivers to race this closely right on top of each other. As, we get some contact here. The 4 machine goes around, and that will bring out a yellow flag here inside of 5 laps to go. This is not what our leader wanted to see of Mike Killenbeck. He wanted that thing to go green because he had a comfortable lead. Now the nerves will start ramping up for this 70 machine. As this may be a green-white checkered. I think it will be, but depending on how this shapes on up as we get the caution with 6 laps to go. It'll be close if it is, in fact, a green-white checkered. You see the field bunching on up here. So if you're the likes of David Lomaga, Jason Wiley, or Marty Brown in the back, I say you do a little bit of strategy. Maybe put 2 new tires on these trucks. Try and see where you can drive that truck to. If you're the leader like Killenbeck, Michaels, or Lowe, I say you got to stay out there and keep that track position, as we have found out how important that is here for the Pappy's Iwraps 100 at Bristol Motor Speedway. As it looks like the 93 machine of Brad Yuckman will be our wave around driver here. Get ready to catch my breath here, folks, because it's going to be an action-packed restart when we get going racing here at Bristol. All the gloves will come on off, as there'll be all give and no take. So interesting here, only 1 truck did pit under this yellow flag on the lead lap, and that was the 41 machine of Marty Brown. So we'll have to see where he can end up in this field. As I believe this will be our 1 attempt at a green-white checkered. So the 70 machine of Mike Killenbeck will have to wait for the green lights to fire on off, and he will need to get the restart of his life. Try and prevent the 01 from stealing one away from him late in this race, or Rob Lowe for that matter of fact. Pretty much, as long as you're inside the top 5 here, you don't know what could happen, what could unfold, and you could be handed a race victory here. As that time by, the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car. We will restack them, re-rack them one last time here at Bristol. This will be our 1 attempt at a green-white checkered. What that means is, if we get a yellow flag before the caution, this race will end under yellow and the order will stand. If we make it to the white flag, that means the race will end under green. We got to race our way through this, so we will have to see how this turns on out, as we'll wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road. Then we gotta wait for the green lights to fire on off for this front row. Down the backstretch, and oh man, hard contact at the front of this field. Not the way we wanted to see it, and I believe as they continue to crash down this front stretch, whole bunch of trucks involved. I don't think there will be too many trucks finishing this race in one piece. A lot of car owners not happy after this one, as a lot of stuff got tore up, especially after that initial yellow flag. So, like I was saying, folks, we didn't know what could happen, what could unfold, who would win this race, and it looks like the 21 machine of Rob Lowe will be handed this race victory, and he'll come away in first. It looks like David Lomaga somehow gets through all those incidents on track and will end up in P number 2. It looks like Ethan Michaels will round out our podium here. We got to give a shout out to the 732 machine. Biggest mover of the race, George Rickon, gets it done in the 4th position. But wow, What a finish, as we had them wrecking all over the racetrack at the end of that one. That was, to put it lightly, insane. As we'll wait here and check out the 21 machine, see if he burns it down for all the fans here. As the G-Stone 21 machine parks it in victory lane after an eventful restart and white flag lap. As we'll see him do the old Alan Kowicki here, do the Polish victory lap for all the fans at home. We will throw it to commercial. When we come back, we'll have some driver interviews with the 01 Machine 34 and the 21.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
As we come back to the speedway here, we will try and dial up our third place finisher, Ethan Michaels. Looks like we got him here. Ethan, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here. Oh, it's going pretty good. Man, what a finish. That was intense. That was, to put it lightly, insane. What was that 01 machine like, and how'd you come away with this podium here tonight?
Well, it was better than the finish that we got. That's for sure. I'm looking back at the replay right now. I was definitely outside of the 70, and it was just a case of netcode. Even though I think we were probably going to hit anyways, but I had nowhere to go. I'm not pressing the brakes on the last lap on a short track. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But really thought we were going to come out with the win, especially since I was able to stick it to the high side on that last green white checkered. A little disappointed, but that's racing.
Yeah, that was a wild race, but yeah, you can't be lifting here, especially on the white flag or the final green white checkered, because all the marbles on the table. You were in the catbird seat there, starting on the outside, the preferred line. I mean, man, that was a heartbreak to see you, but at least ended up P3 out of all that. How was the car that mid run? It seemed like you had some good speed. You were tracking down. It seemed like a lot of the leaders and running for second right there after the halfway point.
Yeah, my general ability is I try to make. I'm not very fast, but I have good long run speed. So that's why league racing is a lot better than me than officials. I tend to try to save my tires, get in a rhythm instead of just full bore all the time. But
yeah, it seemed like you had some great rhythm here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, because this is in fact a very rhythm. You know, you get in a groove here and you start clicking off the laps, and the laps went by very quickly. What was kind of the strategy for this 01 machine here with the tires and whatnot?
Try to stay out front. Track position means everything. There were 2 cautions at like the 27 and the 33 lap mark. Some guys stayed out on old tires for God knows how long. That was probably the most stressful part of the race, even more than that green white checkered, trying to navigate those guys. But thankfully we had an extra set of tires this race, made it so you didn't have to risk staying out on old tires. Other than that, stay out front, stay clean. But unfortunately you can't control everything that happens.
Nope. But Ethan, before we let you go and celebrate this podium positioning here tonight, I'm sure there's got to be a whole bunch of people you got to thank for this 01 truck here.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Turtle Shell Motorsports. I'm not able to show off my new paint because of the update that happened. Completely changed the geometry of this car. But thanks to those guys. I'd like to thank my dad. I think he's still watching. Might be. But he's been really supportive. He's been tuned into a couple of races of mine a week. And that's pretty much it.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Ethan, for spending some time here and talking with me in the booth. Best of luck to you next week, and hopefully we'll talk to you here in the future. Have yourself a good rest of your night.
Thanks, you too.
All righty. That was our third place finisher, Ethan Michaels. Now we will go and talk to our second place finisher of David Lomaga. David, do you got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, Brett?
Oh, pretty good. A wild finish there from pretty much a wild finish. How'd that 34 come out mostly clean and avoid all that? Holy smokes. How many positions did he gain on that last lap?
I have no idea. I mean, I was garbage all night. I mean, I'm surprised I'm even speaking to you tonight. I mean, I like Bristol. I just couldn't get the hang of it for some reason. I qualified 10th, and I figured, okay, I could probably I'll crawl up some spots. I'm normally pretty good on a long run, and I just wasn't feeling it. My car wasn't feeling good, and I was just kind of playing a fuel mileage game for a bit, and then that last kind of caution came out and ruined that whole plan. So then it was kind of all right. I was still in like 10th, and then, like I said, everyone just started wrecking in front of me, and I knew it was last lap, so it's just, keep your foot in it and just go for it.
Yeah, the seas parted perfectly for this 34 DTL Customs F-150 to drive on through and drive all the way to a second position. So an awesome job there to do some, as I would say, NASCAR 09 wreck avoidance, it seemed like, out there.
Yeah, I've never had it part like that. Normally, I think I get through in the last minute. My car's spinning around in a circle. So I finally, snuck away with. I got a lucky break there for a change. That's good.
Yeah, and this does help this 34 machine try and catch this, or I should say, close the points gap to Brad Yuckman. It seemed like he had a tough night out there in that 93 truck. So able to close the gap a little bit. What's your outlook looking like for next week?
Where are we next week? I don't even remember where we are next week.
Next week we are at the Glen. So how good are you turning left and right?
I like Watkins Glen. It's kind of like, I'm from New York, so it's kind of like a home track. So I enjoy the Glen. I enjoy road racing with these things. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Alrighty, awesome, David. Well, before we let you go and celebrate this second position, I'm sure there's got to be a whole bunch of people you got to thank.
Yeah, I want to always, first and foremost, thank my wife Kerry. She always helps me design paint schemes and is always a cheerleader in the background for the races. So I want to say thank you to her. Then thank you to my parents, because I know my dad and a few of my family members watch a couple of races here and there. So, and they're always very excited to see these races. So, thank you to them. Thank you to my teammates. I know not all of them showed up. I know Mike, it was a heartbreaker for him. He, man, that sucked. I was rooting for him to get the win. He was running good all day today. So, a shout out to Mike. He was really running hard, and it sucks that it ended that way for him. But, just a thank you to all my teammates. Thanks for all the guys who show up. And thank you to you for broadcasting. Thanks for Greg for putting on the league. And, congratulations to Rob Lowell on getting the win. And, thanks to everybody who shows up every weekend. Just, this league wouldn't be fun if we didn't get 17, 18 guys every single Tuesday. So, thank you to everyone who shows up every weekend.
All righty, David. Well, congratulations once again on this second place finish here at the treacherous Bristol Motor Speedway. I'll let you go, but I'm sure I'll be talking to you here in the future once again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brett. Have a good night.
Yep, you as well, David. Now we will try and dial up down in victory lane the winner of tonight's Pappy's Iwrap 100 at Bristol, Rob Lowe. You got a copy, Rob?
Hey, yeah, I got you, Brett.
Oh man, what a race, what a finish. Holy smokes. How'd you do it?
Well, early in the race, my teammate and I, Gene Cato, got together and got some damage in the left rear, and it was acting like a parachute. I just had no speed down the straightaway. I just fell backwards and came in and got that fixed, and was starting to come back up through, and a couple guys got together ahead of me, and I got collected in that and had to go back and use a fast repair. And I was back there with David when, with probably 40 to go, 50 to go, just riding, and I was trying to save tires, and all of a sudden the car just truck fired off, and I drove final from 16th to 8th before that caution. We all came in, and I knew I had to do something for track position. The run before that, my left sides were only 97% war, so I took 2 tires and went from 8th to 3rd of the pits with the 2-tire stop. I had a long run truck it was just a beast, and I wanted to stay green from there on out. Didn't. We had a couple cautions, and I was honestly a 3rd place truck there at the end. I could get to those guys, but I couldn't do anything with them. And then they got together in the front stretch, and I've been on the other end of that, so I'll take a free one like that any day.
Yeah, Rob, what was going through your mind as you go down that backstretch for that final time and see the leaders get into it with each other? Was it keep your foot to it and go where they're not?
Yeah, I suspected something was going to happen there. They're like 2 dogs fighting over a bone. Those guys are both super aggressive, good racers, and I knew Mike wasn't going to give Ethan an inch, and Ethan wasn't going to give Mike an inch, and I was ready when they made contact. You see, I shot straight left to avoid it. And then the other thing I had to worry about was when I came back up in the bank and not to spin the truck out. I knew if I got back up in the bank and didn't loop it myself, it was my race. We'd already had the green white checkers, and it's only 1 shot at it. So that's where my mind was when it was happening.
Yeah, it definitely was a crazy finish for here at Bristol. But Rob, what was kind of how was the truck driving overall? Did you get in a good rhythm? Were you using the high groove? It seemed like a lot of trucks were up top tonight. Was that the preferred groove?
Yeah, I'm a high lane guy no matter where we go. And I'll qualify up front. I usually drop back 5-6 spots. I don't go charging out from the start. It's just not my way. And actually what was going through my mind there, I knew I had a good truck, but I needed the race to be over by 8:25. I have to jump into a 802 mod series race at Volusia with Roger Muth on the sister channel, Turn 3 network here. Actually qualifying is getting ready to go off there now. But so yeah, I'm gonna pull a little Kyle Larson tonight. I'm gonna get the win on the asphalt and then go play in the dirt and have some fun.
There you go. So the 21 machine doing double duty here tonight. He's going to go quickly head over to where are you guys at for the dirt race?
We're at Volusia with the 358 mods.
All right, so he's going to quickly head over to Volusia. You got a very fast jet to make it down there from Bristol. But, Rob, we won't keep you too much longer. We'll let you go celebrate in Victory Lane as well as jump in the next race here. But I'm sure there's got to be a whole bunch of people you got to thank for this 21 machine here tonight down in Victory Lane.
Yeah, I want to thank first and foremost Pappy's Iwraps for sponsoring the race tonight. We couldn't do this without the sponsors. I want to thank G-Stone Motors that sponsor my Ford F-150. I want to thank Greg Drace for running this league. Does a great job on all the leagues of the Joe Sixpack Empire. He's also the godfather of the LugCoin syndicate, but he puts a lot of time and effort into it, and I really appreciate all he does for us. I want to thank my teammates, Johnny Barker, who couldn't make it tonight, Gene Cato was in the race, and this week Wolfpack Racing added Greg Drace to our team, and this is our second race with him, and it's a lot of fun. It's nice having him in the Discord with us as we're racing.
Alrighty, Rob. Well, congratulations on the big win here tonight. Go celebrate it, but of course, do some more racing and have yourself a good rest of your night, and hopefully we'll talk to you some more here in the future as the season starts to wrap on up.
Thanks, Brett, and you do a great job broadcasting for us, and look forward to talking to you again.
Alrighty, awesome stuff there. So that was our race winner, Rob Lowe. So some great stuff out from all of these guys. As now we'll start packing it up and going over some of our results and our finishing order. As we got here for the Pappy's Iwraps 100 from the Joe Six-Pack Racing League. We got the qualifying results up there. That's not what we need, folks. We need the race results. Here we go. Rob Lowe in the 21 machine brings it home in victory lane. David Lomaga drives through the C. The C parts for the 34 machine. He ends up in P number 2. Ethan Michael somehow hangs on to a third place there in the 01 machine. Bringing it home in fourth, we got George Rickon in the 732, the biggest mover of tonight's race, up 15 positions. Wes Frank Norman ends up in a top 5 once again in that 72 Dirtbag Racing machine. Marty Brown in that 41 machine brings it home in 6th. 7th goes to Jason Wiley in the 13. Kevin Duran in the 7 brings it home 8th. 9th goes to Keith Fonseca in the 61. Kevin Gironi in the 8 finishes 10th and rounds out our top 10. 11th goes to Mike Killenbeck in the 70. 12th is Greg Dreiss in the 64. 13th is Brad Yuckman in the 93. Gene Cato in the 19 brings it home in 14th. 15th goes to Mike Rosenberger in the 55. Jeff Crosby Sr. in the 33 brings it home 16th. 17th is Joe Nelson in the 76. 18th is John Humphreys in the 4. 19th goes to Dakota Wilson in the 988, and he did not make a start tonight. It was Eli Raposa in the 46. So that wraps up our race here. Looks like they already shut the lights off here at Bristol, so we will wrap it up here very quickly here for ourselves. We got to give, of course, a big shout out. You see it on screen. Pappy's Iwraps for sponsoring tonight's awesome race. Of course, be sure to keep in touch from all the other great sponsors that are bring you Joe Six-Pack Racing League. This has been Brett the Jet here from Turn 3 Racing Network. We got to give a big shout out to all the competitors out here that put on a great show. Of course, Greg Dreiss from Joe Six-Pack Racing League that puts on an awesome league. Be sure to check them out on Facebook if you want to know more information. And, of course, we got to give a shout-out to all the live viewers. Thank you all so much for tuning on, and all the replay viewers. I appreciate every single one of you. Got to give a shout-out to all the YouTube commenters out here. We got Jeffrey, Roger, Jacob, Joey. Appreciate every single one of you for jumping in and chatting with me. Wow. We go live here from the Joe Six-Pack Pick 'em Up Cup Series. This has been Brett the Jet from Turn 3 Racing Network. Everyone have a good rest of your night. Stay safe. And be sure to tune in next week as we turn left and right from Watkins Glen. Have a good night, everyone, and just flew by you.